With your own real estate company, you can lower your taxes to 15% only, instead of up to 45% taxes you would pay as a private investor. That's why the internet is full of content telling you to form your own real estate GmbH, especially from tax advisors and real estate experts, and they're all bullshit. So instead of spending 25,000 euro to create a GmbH company, let's get things straight and go one step at a time from 0 euro to your very own real estate company. In this PerFinEx Real Estate video. There are 3 steps to your own real estate company, and the actual creation of the company is the last one. If you start with step 3 and ignore the other first 2 steps, all you will do is waste thousands of euros. So give yourself the necessary time. Rome wasn't built in a day either. If you are at 0 euro right now, start with step 1 and build equity. Real estate is not cheap, and you cannot buy a property with 0 euro in the bank. Please don't kill the messenger. Luckily, there are really good options out there to build equity. And you need a lot less than what you are probably thinking right now. The safest way to build equity with the least amount of risk are high yield savings accounts. And for that, you have 2 options. If you want to keep things flexible, because you're not entirely sure when you are ready to enter step 2, the flexible savings account may be right for you. You can get a little over 4% interest with the calculator on our website, which is linked in the description. And while you're on our website anyway, feel free to try out our new AI chatbot. More info on that soon. And if you're willing to lock your money away for a year or 2, the fixed term savings account will give you up to 5% interest. Those are the safe options, where your money is 100% guaranteed because all the banks in our calculator are in the EU. If you want a little more spice, you can also invest the money that you're building equity with. But keep in mind that investments fluctuate in value and you can also lose when investing. So never ever invest your entire money. And never ever invest in one thing only. Diversify. Investing in ETFs is really popular and really profitable if you do it right. If you have the time, the knowledge, and the desire to invest in ETFs yourself, you can see in this video which broker is the best for your personal situation. If you don't have the time or the knowledge or the desire to invest yourself because you have no idea what the you're supposed to do, you can join our PerFinEx community investing, which is doing extremely well this year. Or the third option for ETFs, put them in a private pension level 3 that works really well with real estate. Why? Well, banks like ETFs inside a pension a lot more than ETFs inside investment accounts. Makes no sense to you? Makes no sense to me either. But we're in Germany after all, the land of insurances and pensions. And of course your ETFs grow completely tax-free inside a pension, so you don't have to pay this nasty Vorabpauschale anymore. And the third and last option for step 1, since you're interested in real estate anyway, why not invest in real estate before you buy a property? With our real estate security tokens, you can invest in real estate which is 100 euro and earn up to 12% interest as well as profit share on top. Link to our German real estate marketplace is in the description. Now that you have 5,000 to 10,000 euro in equity, it's time for step 2. We're getting closer and closer to your own real estate company. Can you feel it already? That you can buy a property with 5k only may be surprising for some of you. And that's what I said in the beginning, that you don't need an enormous amount of money to become a real estate investor. What do you need the money for? Mainly the closing costs for the notary, ground purchasing taxes, and maybe a real estate agent. Here in Bavaria, we have the lowest closing costs. 2% for notary, plus 3.5% ground purchasing tax. 5.5% in total. That's what the clients pay to buy a property with us, because we're no real estate agents, so we don't charge the 3.57% in fees. So if you buy a property here in Bavaria and have the financial situation that allows 100% financing from the bank, you need to pay only 5,500 euro closing costs for a 100,000 euro property. And if you wonder where you can find properties for 100,000 euros, you can sign up for our Properties of the Week newsletter with a link in the description. They're not in the middle of Munich or Berlin, for that price of course, but in really solid B, sometimes C locations. So please, if there is just one thing that I want you to remember from this video, Buy the first property as a private person before creating a real estate GmbH company. You will make your own life a million times easier. Believe you me, as a person who bought properties privately and with a GmbH. You will understand once we talk about the cons of a real estate company in step 3. Buy one property as a private person. Buy another property as a private person a year later, and another one a year later, and another one, all as a private person in the beginning. I know this sounds like you need a lot of money, but you don't. At least not if you buy small properties, 2 or 3 room, just like the one that I bought in Düsseldorf last year. And if you're a Larry and not a David, check out one of our latest videos to find out what Larry is doing right and how he's paying less for properties than David does. Why should you buy the properties privately first? Because it gives you the time to evaluate if being a real estate investor is what you actually want to do. You will also have enough volume to make your own real estate company worth it, and you can sell your properties to your own real estate GmbH completely tax-free after 10 years. Yes, that works. And that means we are finally where we want to be. In step 3, because now it's time to create your own real estate GmbH company. There's actually not that much to say about the real estate company itself. Any good tax advisor can help you setting everything up. I want to talk about the pros and the cons so you know what you're getting yourself into. The big positive, which is why everyone wants a real estate company in the first place, is the tax benefit. Remember this tax chart from the beginning? Every euro you earn above roughly 63,000 euros will be taxed with 42% as a private person. With a regular GmbH that does a commercial business, like PerFinEx for example, you will pay roughly 30% taxes, no matter how much the company makes. As a private person, you will pay 30% taxes after making 32,000 euros. With a company, you can make millions and pay 30% taxes only. And with a real estate company, you can lower your tax rate to 15%, the equivalent of making 11,500 euro as a private person. An incredibly low tax rate. The downside to getting every profit taxed at a flat rate is that the profit from selling a property is also taxed. So while you can sell a property tax-free after 10 years as a private person, you will always be taxed as a company. And when you buy and sell too often and it starts to become a commercial business, Finanzamt will take your 15% tax benefit away from you and you will start paying 30% taxes like any other company. Another positive of a real estate GmbH company is that you can buy properties with a share deal instead of an asset deal. Now, this could be an entire video on its own, so let me know if you're interested in that. But just in short, instead of buying 100% of a property in an asset deal, you just buy 90% in a share deal, which means you don't have to pay the up to 6.5% ground purchasing tax on that 90% of the property value. 10 years later, you buy the remaining 10% shares, and only then you have to pay ground purchasing taxes on these 10%. Saving you thousands of euros in ground purchasing taxes that you don't have to pay. And lastly, to bring me slowly to my conclusion if you should create your own real estate GmbH company or not, the costs. You have setup costs of about 1,000 euros. Yearly costs to maintain your company of a couple of thousand euros. Just maintaining a company is not cheap, guys. So in order to profit from your own real estate company versus holding properties privately, you have to have significant volume because the tax benefits have to be greater than the structural costs, right? And for that you need a property portfolio somewhere in the low millions, at least 1 million, 3 million, 5 million. It depends on the exact properties, but somewhere around this. So does a real estate GmbH company offer the highest tax benefits? Yes. But until you have properties worth millions of euros, keep things private and sell the properties to your own real estate GmbH company later on. Otherwise the costs will be much higher than your benefits.